Although, I was making a lot of money, more money than I could ever really spend during that time. Hi guys, so today I'm going to do a different kind of video. I just want to take a break from doing makeup tutorials and let my skin breathe a little bit. So for today, I'm going to talk about why being a flight attendant isn't a career for me. A little bit of background. I used to be a flight attendant for a certain company. It's an international company here in the Philippines, and I flew for about 2 years. The reason why I want to make this video is because I think that this video might be helpful to those who are aspiring to become a flight attendant to really think about what they are getting themselves into, because at least from my experience, it was very overwhelming for me at first. And also, this video is not to bash the company or whatever. This is just like based on my experience, and this is just, my opinion and what I went through. I'm sure we're all different, and so this is nothing against the company or people I work with before. So let's start. I wanted to become a flight attendant because I was at the point in my life where being a makeup artist wasn't taking off yet in terms of earning money to be financially stable. And so I felt the pressure to make more money than I was making when I was a makeup artist. And so I looked into careers or what my friends were into during that time. And I saw a few of my friends were already flight attendants by that time. And so I I thought about it. I shared it with my family, I and my friends, and they all thought that that job is suitable for me. And so I sent in my resume, and I got a call right away inviting me for an interview. And from there, it was a long process, but to say the least, I became a flight attendant. I definitely got the financial stability that I wanted from the job. And also, I really also wanted to travel during that time. For me, my thought process was like, okay, I'm going to do this job because the perks of doing this job is very enticing for me. Like, I get to travel, and I also get to save money or be financially stable at least. Well, yeah, I was able to be financially stable. I got to travel, of course, but the problem with that is I found myself when I would get into another country and have layovers there, I found myself not wanting to go out at all. And it's not because I don't want to go out, but I don't have any energy left for me to enjoy the destination. The work for me is very draining. And if you have any idea of the work of being a flight attendants are there mostly for emergency purposes. That's, their main job. But if there's no emergency, of course, service and taking care of the passenger is kind of like the highlight of our work most of the time. Also, I would like to emphasize that me, I have an introvert personality. Like, I like spending a lot of time by myself, having a lot of space so that I can recharge in a way and kind of like fulfill myself in a way. It's just like I really need personal time or me time a lot. That's just, how I work. Being a flight attendant for that company, I was not able to really recover from flights, especially during layovers, because I had roommates, because I was new and I didn't have certain privileges yet that someone who is already working for maybe about 5 to 10 years would have. And so it was hard for me in terms of recharging in certain destinations. So, yeah, as someone who's, very in tune with the introvert personality, I found it really hard to take care of myself during layovers and in flight, because it's just really nonstop communication, whether be it to my coworkers or to the passengers. Like, it was all me putting all of my energy towards that. And then during the layover, it was very hard for me to be comfortable, because I would have a roommate. Like, I can't just let my guard down, because I was always trying to think of my roommate and trying to be respectful and stuff like that. Also know that I really tried my hardest to grow as a person while I was growing my career as well. And with that, and what I mean by growing as a person is that pursuing my passion or outside hobbies other than, my career. And so I brought books during my flights. I meal prepped a lot. Almost all of my meals were prepared by me or my parents before, or my husband, because I wanted to be healthy, because I know being a flight attendant physically, it demands a lot. And so, yeah, I would like to think that I did everything I could to be in a good overall well-being, but I found myself, I don't know if it was just me, but like, I was I was sick a lot. Like, I would have sore throat a lot. I would have colds a lot. I would just not feel the best physically. For me, there was not enough time for me to recover, because flying, or at least our schedule with that company, was kind of like nonstop. Physically, it wasn't working for me. And in terms of mentally, mentally, that's when I really realized that that job is not for me, because my mental health greatly declined my second year. I found myself getting super anxious month by month, because time flew by so fast when I was in that job. And I felt that although, I was making a lot of money, more money than I could ever really spend during that time, because I'm not materialistic, and there's nothing wrong with being materialistic, but like, I just saved all of my money, because I don't know, spending wasn't really something that I enjoy doing anyway. I enjoy saving and putting that money towards something important in the future. So mentally, it was really hard for me, because I found myself anticipating the next month all the time. And for me, that was just not that was not a way to live. Really, what I'm trying to say is that the values that are very important to me as a person, or the values that keep me sane and grounded and feel good about myself, they were very much compromised when I was doing my job. And one value that I really try to imply within myself is honesty. And I remember I would always rant to my husband, to my family, to my friends, that it's really hard for me to, during layovers, to say no, because when you're flying and you're in a certain destination, it's very common for the group to go out or have dinner or drink to de-stress. But for me, that was not my way of recovering. And so I found myself lying a lot. And it's something that, of course, I'm not proud of, but like I was lying to get myself out of the situation to go out, if that makes sense. Because I had a lot of experiences where I was really pressured to be, you know, to really go out with my workmates during that time. And there's really that pressure that, you should be hanging out, getting to know each other. And especially I was new, and so it was really hard for me to say no because I wanted to be in good terms with, people that I work with. I also had one experience that really stuck to me. So we landed in our destination. It was a long layover. Like the purser, the one who leads the flight for the whole flight attendants and flight stewards, invited everyone to have lunch in the hotel that we were staying at. But for me, I had my own baon. I prepped something because one, I don't want to spend, and two, I'm very picky with food during that time. I didn't go to that lunch. I just ate in my hotel room. And but I told my roommate to, like, can you just tell purser that I won't be joining you guys because I have baon. And then when she came back from the lunch, she said that the purser was kind of like annoyed that I didn't go with them. And he was saying that I guess it's part of the culture to, like, mingle with the purser and be accommodating of the invites and stuff like that. And so I was very conflicted during that time because, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I have my own baon. I wanted to rest early. And now I'm feeling bad about, having baon and wanting to rest early just because I couldn't fulfill that, certain idea or culture. After that, whenever I'd have a flight and people and my workmates are and pursers are planning like a bonding time, or whatever, a trip to somewhere, I would just always say that, like, I have a relative in that certain destination and that I'd be going out with them because I didn't want to offend anyone, because I offended a purser with my basically my choice. I offended him with my choice. And that didn't sit well with me because, of course, I don't want to be annoying a person who we should be respecting, you know? Of course, this is a very petty and silly thing, but like in my batchmate, I love my batchmates. Like they're, you know, they were there for me. Your batchmates in that certain company would be your family, your entire flying life. And unless you get close with other people as well from other batches. But they were teasing me a lot, like in chat groups they would say like, oh, Jean never goes out, like she always just saves money. And I was like, and for me that's like really nothing, it's fine because it's true, that's who I am. But like when you're sometimes, when you're tired from a flight and you're not feeling great and then you read those things, sometimes I get a little bit sensitive about it. It's because like, yeah, so what, like, I'm just different in that way. And to hear that over and over again, it was just like getting old for me. Hold on, my battery. So yeah, I felt like I was very different, and that it's okay to be different, but like when it's like emphasized too much, like I'm getting I'm getting known for that kind of behavior, which is not, which for me there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like it's okay lang, but like I just felt very like an outcast basically. That's not a good feeling in that kind of environment, because flying or being a flight attendant can really be lonely at times because you're always away from your family, especially during the holidays when you can really feel that you're away, kind of like an OFW. It could be really hard, and those things can really make you spiral down when you're already not feeling great. And so that was definitely one of my major dilemmas when I was flying, was just like I really had to lie so that I can be myself. Which is, it's fine. Like it was, for me that was like a survival kind of thing. Like I really need to just be alone and rest and exercise and read. Like I just really don't have enough energy to mingle, or it's not me. Don't get me wrong, being a flight attendant is definitely a dream job for a lot of people, and there's definitely a lot of perks that come with it. You get to travel, and also eventually your family gets to travel with you, and you have, financial stability. You have, what else? You have health, you have healthcare and stuff like that. So it's really a great career for someone who loves to travel, and also kind of like an extrovert, I guess. I'm not saying there's like no introvert people in that job. I'm sure there are also a lot, but just me, in my experience, it was super hard for me to be myself in that kind of environment. Also, it's just like working for such a big company. When I needed to be heard, it was hard for me to get my concerns across because it's such a big company. And at times, I felt like I was super small and I didn't have a voice. And I felt like that, I'm just indispensable. Like they can just replace me, no problem. I really didn't have any option, I guess, at the end, because I quit because I couldn't do my job properly anymore. Like got to a point that my mental health was such in a bad place that I needed to stop everything in my life and just really focus on that so that I can start to heal and be better for me to get the other parts of my life going. And so if I wouldn't be able to take care of my mental health, my life would be stuck. Oh yeah. So if you are trying to consider being a flight attendant as a career, I just also make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. For me, the way I tried to do that was I talked to my friend on her experiences on being a flight attendant, and I asked her what to expect, and I felt good when we talked. But again, everyone is different. My experience is very much different from her experience. She loves the job. She gets super fulfilled doing that job, and she has a family all over the world that she can go to when she would have layovers. And so it just really depends on, like, it depends on you, basically, if you think that this job is really for you. Because in my case, the more I think about it, the more, now that I have a clear mental space about what happened in that 2 years of me flying, the more I realize that that job isn't really for me. I really forced myself to like that job. I would always say, whenever my friends would ask me, oh, how are you, how's flying, I would always say I feel fulfilled in terms of you know financial stability, but that's about it. And yeah, of course, I'm thankful and I'm very grateful that I was able to save a lot of money to jumpstart having a family with my now husband, and putting us in a good place at the start of our marriage, and also having a really lovely wedding. And my savings definitely helped us make that happen. I really did the best I could with that career. When it was obviously time for me to quit and be true to myself, that was the option for me to not choose that career anymore. And I'm grateful for that experience, because, man, if you want to be a cabin crew, you have to be physically and mentally strong at the same time. For me, it's a very demanding job. And if you're the person who's, always on the go, spontaneous, just, go with the flow, then that job might be for you. But for me, I like, I like, I like to take things really slow, and I like feeling like I know how my week went, and instead of just having my week fly by so fast without me, can't even reflect on that certain weekend, what happened. Like, personally, I didn't feel good about that, and I didn't feel fulfilled about that. Yeah, I guess that is my overall experience on being a flight attendant. It's a very rewarding job. I can definitely attest to that. But it's also a really hard job if you're someone like me, For other people, it's like the easiest job in the world. Like, I would hear my peers before would say, it's not even like I'm working. But in my case, I definitely felt that I was like working. Like, it was physically draining for me, it was mentally draining for me. And so that was deal breaker for me that like, oh, okay, this is not for me after all. So if you're aspiring to be a flight attendant or a flight steward, just know that it's not what you see on Instagram, that it's all, travel, destination, making a lot of money. There's also this, not struggle, but like there's also this side of the story, basically, this side of the career. And I would like to think that, I'm not the only one who feels like this or who felt like this, because I would always, when I was flying, I would always, not always, but like I would hear sometimes people would say, like, it's a rewarding job, but I don't feel like I'm growing as a person. And so it's just really a matter of your preference and your priorities and your goals. And yeah, so I hope this video is helpful for you if you're trying to consider being a cabin crew as a career. And yeah, good luck with everything. So that's all that I have to say in this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want, follow me on Instagram because I post a lot of content there, and I also ask a lot on my stories on which videos to post. I usually ask help um, on what videos I should post next. So if you want to partake in that, then I would love to have you. Just follow me at Jean Ransom. And yeah, so this ends my video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and see you next time. Bye.